Sup, chooms, how y'all living? Hope everything is Nova and you're all having a preem week. So, a lot of people have been asking me about the recent controversy over at Reddit. For those who don't know, there has apparently been a recent uptick in post-moderation and censorship over on the Trestless subreddit, which is by far the largest hair loss community on the internet. Now, I am not active on Reddit at all, and I haven't been for years now, but I do occasionally lurk there just to find out the latest happenings in the hair loss community, especially since updates about new research often get posted there. So, I am aware that there has been increased moderation on the forum compared to a few years ago. What's happening is that there are certain buzzwords that flag posts for moderation, and frequently posts get deleted for discussing certain subjects like side effects or post-finasteride syndrome. So my opinion about all of this is good. It's about goddamn time. Trestless for the longest period of time was paradoxically the biggest source of hair loss misinformation on the internet by far. There is literally more fear-mongering about finasteride on Trestless than there was on the Propecia help forums, I kid you not. That's no exaggeration, it was absolutely true. That is what happens when you let a community run absolutely wild without any kind of content moderation. That's what ruined another hair loss forum called Hair Loss Talk, where moderators basically just gave up and let the forum get taken over by anti-finasteride trolls. The same thing would have happened with Trestless if the subreddit were never given any damn oversight, so I'm glad it finally happened. Trestless, despite still having some problems, has definitely improved dramatically compared to the shit show that it was 3 to 5 years ago, back when the most popular post of all time was a guy claiming that broccoli cures hair loss. Now, you may be thinking, but Kevin, why are you such a fascist, bro? Don't you support freedom of speech? People should be able to say whatever they want, right, bro? And my answer to that, chooms, is a resounding no. They shouldn't be allowed to, at least when we're talking about the subject of hair loss misinformation, because hair loss misinformation can make people go bald. The only freedom I actually care about when it comes to hair loss is the freedom for people to be able to visit hair loss communities knowing full well that there is at least some degree of oversight that will protect them from dangerous misinformation, and Trestless is now a much better place than it used to be because it now has oversight. Now, I have heard some people make some complaints that I do think are justified, such as posts being held for review for days at a time, or posts getting automatically flagged for deletion just because they mention certain buzzwords like PFS, post-finasteride syndrome. So there may be good intentions behind this, but I still don't think this is fair because this could also target posts from people who are criticizing the science behind PFS. So I think it is important that there is some consideration for the type of context where these buzzwords are brought up. This is a problem because, like many websites these days, Reddit most likely uses artificial intelligence to flag problematic posts, and AI is definitely not perfect. Trestless is a moderated subreddit with a set of rules, so ultimately what you'd like to see is perhaps an AI filter to flag certain posts for human moderation, but if it's taking days for posts to actually get approved, then that means the subreddit doesn't have enough manpower. So certainly, I think Trestless should definitely consider hiring on more moderators in order to more effectively run the site, but overall, the Trestless moderators should be praised for cleaning up the trash that once infested their subreddit, and frankly, if you ask me, I still don't think they are going far enough. That's right, I think Trestless needs more moderation, not less of it. Specifically, I think there needs to be a new rule that if someone wants to claim that taking finasteride or dutasteride made their hair loss worse, they should be required to either show a timestamp before and after photo or provide some objective measurement like a hair count provided through a photo trichogram. That way, people can make their own observations to determine if the claims these people are making are genuine, because for all we know, the people making these claims are just hypochondriacs who are freaking out about a treatment shed, or they're just trolls looking to stir up drama. And I made a video where I talk about that more in depth, which I'll link below. I also think Trestless should strongly consider getting rid of posts where people post their blood work. I say that because there is nothing more frustrating than when someone gets blood work done while they're on finasteride that they don't even know how to interpret. So rather than go to a doctor like they should, they instead go online and ask random people to make sense of all of it. If you're not qualified to interpret blood work, what makes you think you'll get a better answer asking strangers online? Also, you shouldn't be getting blood work to begin with because it's useless on finasteride. There is literally no blood marker that will predict how well you're going to respond to finasteride, and I made a video about that which I'll link below. The fact of the matter is that nobody online is going to be able to provide you a better answer about your blood panels than an actual doctor, which is whom you should be speaking with, not posting questions to random strangers on some internet forum who are completely unqualified. Hair loss discussions should not be some town hall where everybody has an equal platform. This is science we're talking about here, chums. We're not talking about things like sports or entertainment where opinions are subjective. So, in the case of a science-based subject like hair loss, not all opinions are created equal, and popular opinions do not always conform to the truth. So, if you enable just anyone to spread whatever bullshit they like, it is going to end up resulting in more people going bald because people who are laymen to the subject of hair loss won't be able to discriminate the factual information from the misinformation, and they'll end up following advice that will cost them their hair and sometimes even harm their health. And with hair loss, you do not get a second chance, chums. So I think the moderators on Trestless are showing a great deal of responsibility by actually moderating their forum, which is unlike a lot of websites these days where moderators don't seem to do anything at all. And I hope they actually double down on the moderation in the future, because even though things have improved, they still have a lot of work to do. I think the Trestless mods are now realizing that an internet forum is definitely not a substitute for proper medical advice. So that's probably why they censor questions asking about side effects, because those are the type of questions you should really be asking your doctor. Now yes, I know that side effect questions are common, and they often appear in the comment section of my videos too, many of them which I do answer personally. So it is definitely possible to answer questions about things like the incidence of side effects or the types of side effects that drugs like finasteride, dutasteride, and minoxidil cause, because we all have good data about those topics. But when people ask things like, why isn't this treatment working for me? Or why am I getting side effects on this drug? That's really something you should be asking your doctor about, because your doctor is the only one who is qualified to examine you, not random strangers on the internet. So I do agree that Trestless should probably recruit more people to help the subreddit run more efficiently, and they should be careful to avoid deleting posts that are perfectly appropriate and abide by the rules. But I still think that occasional over-moderation is a lot better than no moderation at all. So if Trestless ever decides just to become the Wild West and let their subreddit become a free-for-all where every moron can post some bullshit theory about broccoli or blood flow, mark my words, that will be the end of Trestless forever. I think that Trestless moderators know that, which is why they've stepped up their game to help improve the quality of their platform, and even though there still is a lot of work to be done, this is definitely a step in the right direction. So my opinion about Trestless has definitely improved over the years for sure. It's also worth mentioning that moderation is not the same thing as censorship. If a site has rules, then it should be free to enforce them. I don't have any sympathy for a website like Facebook that makes billions of dollars every year, but then it says it can't hire enough moderators to actually moderate its content. All that really means is that social media giants like Facebook, X, and Instagram are monopolies that are way too big, and they should be broken up into smaller companies, even if that means cutting into Mark Schmuckerberg's salary. If people really want a community-driven internet with no moderation whatsoever, then they can feel free to join the rest of society's trash over at 4chan, but good luck getting any accurate scientific information from that cesspit. Now, I know that this video is not my usual science-based content, but I still felt that I had to give my opinion here on this topic because Trestless is a huge community where a lot of people get their information about hair loss. Sometimes that's the only source of information for them. So I know that a lot of you may disagree with what I just said in this video, and there will be a lot of "but Kevins" in the comment section, and that's okay. People can think whatever they want. And on that note, I do have some strong scientific content coming this month, and I'm also planning on covering a subject that is not hair loss related, which is very similar to what I did with my response video to What I've Learned seed oil video, and I'll go ahead and link that video below in case you haven't seen it, and I highly recommend you do because it's a great video. But in the meantime, I want to wish all my American viewers, as well as all my viewers who are friends to America, a very happy Independence Day. I'll see you all again soon. Thank you for watching. God bless.